Hi guys and girls, my name is James and welcome back to Draft Analysis for the PSL Season number 2, and I am really hyped for this season. If you guys remember last season, Season 1, it was originally called the PWL, but to explain less and make it simpler for you guys, it was like quote-unquote just, we'll call it a name change for now. It's now called the PSL. But we did pretty, I wouldn't say bad, I'd say lackluster. We went 0-5 the first few weeks, then we made some trades and did pretty good, I'd say. But I'm looking to redeem myself this season. So I'm going to be working pretty hard to try and win this. I'm going to put a lot more effort into just the league in general, whether it's prepping and on the battlefield as well. So I'm really going to try and do good this league. So yeah, we're here to do the draft analysis. We hope you guys like the new intro we do have a new team. Now I know I said I would be the Miami Milotics this season at the end of Season 1. I said that, but I really wanted a team based on the Marshadow. I think Marshadow's a dope Pokemon, and I wanted the mascot on that. So yeah, let's dive right into the team recap. Actually, before we do that, I want to give a shout out to Manjingus, aka the owner of the league. The reason why I'm doing this is because this league, Season 1 was started through a comment on YouTube, and not only did the Season 1 completely finish, but it is now entered Season 2 with over 30 plus teams. So my Manjingus is running a league that was started in a comment with over 30 teams. That's wild. So round of applause for him. But now let's get into the draft recap, what you care about. So I went a different strategy. Before I do that, I want to say my division real quick. My division is a really fun. A lot of my good friends are in it. We have Thorozak, Ian, myself, and Jingus. So all 4 of those are good friends of mine, and I'll be able to fight them twice through the season. It's a 14-week season with playoffs, of course, so it's going to be pretty long, but that's okay. Now we can officially get into the recap. So I went a different strategy with this team. I wanted to try something out because if you guys know me, I usually like bulk and bulky offense. This one I went really offensive, like I have a few bulky mons there, but I went pretty offensive. So let's start with the Pokemon I grabbed round 1. We grabbed Kartana round 1, which is also my Z holder. I named it Silver. So Kartana is a very interesting Pokemon. Through all the leagues I've been in, I've never seen it drafted. So I really wanted to try it out. It looks pretty good on paper, but I'm not really sure how good it is in league format. I guess I'm going to find out. Really good attack stat being 181 and decent speed with 109 being a really good speed. Or a Scarf user as well with the base 109 speed. You can outspeed a lot with the Choice Scarf, and this thing is going to nuke some things with Gracium Z. It also gives me a Defogger right off the bat, and also a Setup Sweeper. It gives me a good Steel type as well, which Steel types are very good in League format in my opinion. I try to grab a very good one in that. But Kartana is a very interesting Pokemon. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun using it. It gets a lot of cool stuff, like Synthesis and stuff. Maybe I want to try and use Synthesis one week. That would be pretty fun. But one of the downsides to Kartana is that it's really low special defense, being 31. And I guess it's kind of easy for the opponent to prep for that, because they can just slap HP Fire on something that outspeeds Kartana and they're going to call it a day. So we'll see. I'm not really sure how Kartana will do on the squad. Looking forward to using him though. So yeah, and then I jumped in the round 2. Now this is actually snipe for me. Really the only snipe from me. I only got sniped once this draft. I originally wanted Blacephalon, but that got sniped. And I was going to grab Blacephalon first round, but since it was sniped, I just grabbed Kartana first round. But I decided to grab Victini. Victini was around in round 2 as well, so I was like, okay, I'm going to grab this up. And I feel like Victini can do the role that Blacephalon can as well a little bit. I really like Blacephalon of how it paired with Kartana being like the synergy. I like the synergy they had, but Victini can kind of do that as well. Nicknamed it Emblem. So I got Victini here. Everybody knows what Victini does. Gives me a mythical Pokemon with 100 base stats across the board. But this thing honestly just hits incredibly hard with the Choice Band. Just Choice Band V-Create is so good on this thing. It's one of those Pokemon that clicks attack, and it's very hard to switch into this thing just because how powerful it is. V-Create, it's one of the most powerful moves in the game, being 180 base power. One of the downsides to it though is it lowers your defenses and your speed, but you can't really complain about that. They gotta nerf an OP move like this. The cool thing about Victini as well, it's also a pretty good Scarf Pokemon as well with the base 100, and it gets utility with U-turn, which is nice, so I can U-turn out in the Kartana and maybe nuke a water type that they send in on Victini. And also a nice thing about Victini is it can be ran specially offensive as well with like the choice specs, maybe like Psychic, Blue Flare, yeah, basically that. And this thing also gets a cool move called Glaciate. It's an ice type move. It's only 65 base power, but it also lowers the opponent's speed, so it's basically a stronger Icy Wind. But Glaciate is cool because if the opponent wants to try and counter my Victini with like a Garchomp or a Landorus Therian, not gonna happen. Gonna click Glaciate. I'm really excited to use Victini. I've seen it used very successful in most leagues, so I'm excited to see how it works here. I don't use fire types too often though, so I'm not sure how much I'll use Victini, but we'll see. So round 3, I decided to grab Florges. I nicknamed Daisy. Florges is probably my favorite fairy type to use in League format, right next to Gramble. But I think grabbing bulky fairy types early on is really important, which is why I grabbed this thing early on. I mean, it's not really early on. I think this is pretty normal for a bulky fairy type like Florges. But I really like Florges as a defogger as well. Me personally, and I think a lot of people can say the same, I really like defoggers that don't take 25% from rocks. For example, like Empoleon, Florges, of course, and there's probably some others. I can't think of them off the top of my head. But yeah, I really like Florges as a defogger. This will probably be my primary defogger as it's not weak to rocks, and I can freely send it in on rocks and defog them away. Florges also gives me nice witch support as well. Now, my team probably kind of looks like a little bit random with Kartana, Victini, Florges, but it gets better in the future. I really just grab Florges as a really good special wall, and overall just a really bulky fairy types. Like I said, the wish support is also really nice and gives me a cleric as well with aromatherapy. You're gonna try and burn my katana. Ain't gonna happen. I think I just called it a katana. But yeah, it's basically Florges for you. Gets a synthesis as well, so I can get double healing. But it does Florges things. Can be ran as Calm Mind as well. But yeah, moving on to round number 4, I grabbed Keldeo. Now, nicknamed Elucidator. If you get the reference, shout out to you. It's from an anime called Sword Art Online. But Keldeo, I really wanted to use it in a league for a long time, but I really just like my offensive core right now with Kartana, Florges, or not Florges, with Kartana, Victini, Keldeo. I really think they complement each other in their weaknesses and strengths. Keldeo gives me a good special wall breaker. I guess you could call it. I could guess you could call Keldeo a wall breaker because Choice Specs Keldeo hits like a truck. And Secret Sword is nice as well in this thing because it helps break down good walls. It basically does the same thing as Psyshock, except it does damage on your defense. I think Psyshock does special defense. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. But Keldeo is really cool. I'm gonna make mine Resolute for him because it looks cooler in my opinion. And I think I'm one of the only teams, if not the very few teams, that managed to grab 3 tier 1s. But this meant I had to grab a Mega tier 3 Pokemon, which gave me points, which was why I was able to grab 3 tier 1s. But I think I grabbed a pretty good Mega, in my opinion, for a Mega tier 3. But yeah, Keldeo, it's very predictable, I guess. There's not many things Keldeo does. Icy Wind, Secret Sword, Hydro Pump, Scald, Surf, Focus Blast, Calm Mind. That's really it. I mean, if you want to be run physical, Keldeo has 72 attack, and it gets Sword Stance, I think. I mean, it should. Yeah, so maybe I want to run physical Keldeo 1 week if I want to meme. But Keldeo, I really like it. I really like how it fits with my other two offensive powerhouses being Kartana and Victini. So moving on, in the round number 5, we grabbed the Alolan Ninetales. Now, since I grabbed a very offensive squad, I felt like Aurora Veil is pretty nice on this team, so I decided to scrap it up. I nicknamed mine Alaska. But Alolan Ninetales, it's primarily there to set up the Veil, what it usually does. Everybody knows what Alolan Ninetales does. It gives me another Fairy type as well, so if any Dragon types want to try and run up on me, but most of them are Poison Jab anyway. But it's Alolan Ninetales, really nice with Aurora Veil. It can also be a nasty plot sweeper, and then it hits really hard with Blizzard in the snow as well. It's got decent stats across the board. 109 speed is pretty good. It speed ties with Kartana, and 100. It's got okay bulk, just okay. 100 special defense, 75 defense, and 73 HP. I think if this thing had like 100 base HP, I think it would be much better, in my opinion, because you would have a little bit more HP to back up your lackluster defense stats. But this thing, you know what it does, sets up the hail. That's really it. Not much to really say on this thing. So moving on to round number 6, I decided to grab up Mandibuzz, nickname Flintstone. Now Mandibuzz gives me a flying type, it also gives me another defogger and a dark type. I mainly just grabbed this thing as a nice bulky Pokemon, like a good physical wall. With a base 110 HP, 105 defense could come in really handy. Like I said, it just gives me a flying type, which I think everybody should grab at least one flying type in League format just so you don't get destroyed by Earthquake spam, unless you have like a lot of Levitators. It's got a pretty nice ability that pairs up with the Little Ninetales being Overcoat. It's immune to hail damage, so that's really nice with Little Ninetales because I'll be immune to the hail. This thing is really just here, like I said, to be a defogger and just that flying bulky type that I wanted. And also gives me slow U-turn options as well, which is cool. Really lackluster in the offensive department with 65 attack and 55 special attack, but it gets things like foul play. So it's like an Umbreon kind of thing where Umbreon has no offense, but it gets things like foul play and such. So moving on to round number 7, the Mega I decided to grab is Mega Ampharos, named Pantene, and it is pink because I want to use shiny Mega Ampharos. That's also why Florges was pink. So Mega Ampharos, like I said, I had to grab a tier 3 Mega, and Mega Ampharos was tier 3. I'm uneven whether or not I think Mega Ampharos is a tier 2 or tier 3 Mega. I think it can work really well in this team as well. I think it really fits well with Kartana, well, my offensive core with Victini, Keldeo, Kartana, and Mega Ampharos now. I think they all complement each other really well. Mega Ampharos being extremely slow, but it has a lot of bulk to make up for this, and I think a Mega Ampharos on Aurora Veil is going to be insane. This thing will not die. With base 90 HP, 105 defense, and 110 special defense, oof, this thing will not die. It also gets Cotton Guard, which is cool. I can boost my defense simultaneously, and then I can afford to run more special defense investment. But it gives me a really good electric spam switch in as well, being times 4 resisted by that. It's really nice. Also gives me a Volt Switcher and an Electric type, and a Dragon type as well. The only move it gets is Dragon Pulse though. But Mega Ampharos, not much it does as the same deal with Keldeo. There's not much it really does. I mean, there's cool options you can throw here and there, like maybe Thunder, or that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. You can do some cool stuff with Mega Ampharos, I guess. Like Confuse, right? Maybe Cont Spore. Like I said, really slow, but I have Webs as well, so maybe I can run Webs plus Agility, make this Ampharos pretty speedy. And if I want to, I can maybe run it physical with Outrage and Wild Charge, because it has 95 attack. Not bad at all. Does it get Swords Dance? Does not. Does not. But yeah, Mega Ampharos, I really just wanted to try it out in a league. I think it's really cool, and I think it's arguably the best tier 3 Mega you can get. And yeah, there's really not much to say on it. I just think it fits the team really well. It gives me a nice bulky offensive pivot with the nice Volt Switch. So, going into round number 8, I decided to grab a Araquanid. I named it Big Kid, courtesy of Box Turtle Gaming. Don't ask me why. He told me to nickname it that, so I was like, whatever. So, when I was looking at round 8 and I was deciding what I wanted, there wasn't really much I was looking at. Like, I could basically grab something from tier 3, so I was looking around. I was like, do I grab like a poison type, like Tentacruel? Tentacruel kind of looks cool. But in the end, I decided to grab a Araquanid because I think that Webs could be pretty useful on this team, since it's pretty offensive, and I think Webs could come in handy, especially helping like Keldeo, Victini, and Kartana, boosting their speed, which is cool. And it gives me a bulky water type, which I think everyone should get. Now, I already had a water type in Keldeo, but Keldeo's not going to be wanting to take that many hits. And, yeah, this thing can take some hits, especially like Assault Vest. And Water Bubble Liquidation hits incredibly hard on this thing. Like, it's actually insane how hard Araquanid hits. But, like I said, gives me a Sticky Webber. And it gives me a Bug type as well, which I did not have, which is cool, I guess. And it gets cool options like Magic Code and stuff, if I want to run that. And I think it fits the team very well. I think it'll get a good use because it's a nice water type, webs. And Leech Life is nice on this thing because I get residual health, and of course Leech Life was it was boosted in power in Sun and Ultra Sun and Moon, being 80 base power now, really cool on that. And Leech Life on the Rackman actually hits it very hard as well. And Water Bubble is a really good ability on this thing, and that'll probably be my primary ability. I run on it, and maybe Water Absorb 1 week, but there's really no reason for you to run Water Absorb on a Rackman because no one is going to click a Water type attack on this thing with 132 special defense paired with an Assault Vest. So that's a Rackman. Also a pretty good choice band use as well. Liquidation will hit extremely hard then. Does it get Aqua Jet? It does not. That would be pretty cool if it got Aqua Jet. That would actually hit very hard. So moving on to round number 9, I think. Yeah, round number 9. I decided to grab Golurk, nicknamed Titan. Now I needed a ground type and I needed a ghost type. Ghost types are pretty useful in League format because it gives me a spin block as well. And I wanted to keep up with the offense, so I decided to grab Golurk. Golurk will be probably very bulky on Veil as well, which is why I was looking at it. Golurk has 2 pretty good abilities he can take advantage of as well. No guard means I won't miss, so if I want to run like Dynamic Punch and obliterate something, I won't miss, which is cool. And also has yeah, I was thinking of the wrong thing. Also 100% chance to confuse my opponent, which is super duper cool. And then Iron Fist to boost my stab, shadow punch, as long as the elemental punches. So this Golurk will be hitting pretty hard. I've always wanted to use Golurk. I don't think I've ever really used it. It looks like a really fun Pokemon to use. I think it'll get its good use throughout the season. Golurk looks pretty fun, and I can do some cool stuff like Rock Polish. Does it get Bulk Up? No. Anything that boosts its attack? Because maybe I can run Double Dance 1 week. Let's see here. Rock Polish. Gives me a Rock Slide as well. I don't think it gets it. It gets Charge Beam. I did not know that. That's pretty cool, I guess. Iron Defense, so maybe I want to run like Rock Polish Iron Defense. That could be pretty cool, I guess. But yeah, Golurk just gives me a nice ground and ghost type. Hit really hard with Earthquake and Shadow Punch. So moving on to round number 10, decided to grab me a little Insane Slash. There's really no reason for me not to grab this thing. I already had Ninetales, so I was like, why not grab Sand Slash with it? Gives me a Swords Dance Sweeper with Slush Rush. It'll be pretty fast then. Also gives me another Rapid Spinner. I actually think my only Rapid Spinner. Yeah. So it gives me a Rapid Spinner, which is nice because I don't want to always have to defog my own webs away. So I have Rapid Spin options with a little Insane Slash, but I feel like the best, or I nicknamed mine Glacier, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. I think the best way to get the most out of your Alolan Sand Slash is to get it with Hail. So I did that. Also gives me Hail or Aurora Veil options on this thing. So if I want to run like more offensive Ninetales and not have to worry about Aurora Veil, I can bring this thing as well and put Aurora Veil on this. But it's cool. I could also run like Hone Claws and never miss an Icicle Crash. Gets Knockoff as well, which is cool. Leech Life, I did not know that, so that's a cool move for it to get. But there's really not much to say on this thing. Also another Rock Setter. And like I said, just Swords Dance Sweeper in the Hail. Sure, it has 2 times 4 weaknesses, being Fighting and Fire. But I think that my team can handle both of those types very well. Victini can actually cover Fighting and Fire. So Victini pairs up nice with this thing. So moving on to second to last round, round number 11. I got my tier 5 Pokemon being Bouffalant. Now first off, I originally wanted Lanoon, but then I was looking at it and it was a tier 4 Pokemon, so I was like, shoot, can't grab that. And then I wanted Tauros, and then when I said my Tauros pick, people were like, hey, that's tier 4, you can't grab that. Well, shoot, there goes Tauros again. So I just went with the next best thing being Bouffalant. Bouffalant, it hits extremely hard with Reckless Head Charge Choice Band. Oof, that's gonna hit so many things hard. I think if this thing was like base 100 speed, it would be so much better because it would hit so hard. But Bouffalant has decent bulk to back up its bad speed stat, 95 Spit F, 95 defense, and 95 HP, so 95 across the board. I guess it's not terrible, but it's not good either. It's got cool things like Cotton Guard though, so if I want to boost my defense in that regard. But honestly, Bouffalant is just there as a physical wall breaker to just nuke some things. Mega Horn, Outrage, Poison Jab, Pursuit, Iron Head. There's a lot of cool things the thing gets. And like I said, Head Charge for Stab is just going to obliterate something. And I don't know why this thing doesn't get Head Smash. look at its head. It's going to be smashing things with it. So, I also get Zen Headbutt and Wild Charge, which is cool. There's a couple cool things Boufflant can do. I was just looking at it, I saw it get Surf, and I was thinking maybe I could run Special Boufflant, but then I saw 40 base Special attack. Like, nope, not going to do that. So Boufflant, it was just really a normal type. I think Linoon would have been best on the team, but Boufflant will fit the bill. Moving into the last round, before you laugh at me, we grab Lunatone, Eclipse the Lunatone. Now, before you say your stuff in the comments, you write frantically, I'm like, I'll leave it to you, why'd you grab a Lunatone? So, I could only afford a tier 5 Pokemon at this point, and I needed a rock type, and I was looking at it, my team is very physically offensive, so I really wanted something especially offensive, and that only gave me options of Solrock and Lunatone. It's, I don't know. I feel like if there's any Pokemon I'm going to free agent, it's probably this thing. I mean, I guess it's, like I said, I need it especially offensive, but this thing isn't really especially offensive. I mean, it kind of can be with, like, Calm Mind, I guess, but it's meh. I'm not sure how much I'm going to use Lunatone. It gives me another Stealth Rocker. I mean, it also, I really just wanted a rock type just for bird spam. I mean, yeah, I had Mega Ampharos right there, but Mega Ampharos can get worn down, unlike a Lunatone, which gets access to Moonlight, so I can run, like, Calm Mind, Moonlight. Does it get Ancient Power? Yes, it does. How about a Power Gem? Yep, so I can run, like, Power Gem, Calm Mind, Moonlight, and, like, Psyshock or Psychic. One of those things. Lunatone is, I guess it's kind of cool, though. I can explode on some things. I guess I'll probably use it, like, once. Probably. Actually get some cool stuff, like Ice Beam and Moonblast. I did not know that. That's actually pretty cool. Shadow Ball, Signal Beam. So, it also gives me a Trick Rumor. I guess my team can function somewhat on Trick Room with, like, Boufflant, Golurk, Araquanid, a little Sand Slash, but we'll see. Not sure if I'm going to keep Lunatone or not. But yeah. Like I said, really just grabbed it to have the rock type just so I don't get destroyed by Bird Spam. Because Bird Spam is kind of annoying. So yeah, that's really the team. The squad we drafted. Let me know what you think. My thoughts on it, I really like it. I think it's going to be pretty successful. Like I said in the beginning, I want a totally different strategy being offensive. I wouldn't necessarily call this hyper offensive because we have a little bit of bulky mons in there like Araquanid, Manabuzz, Florges, Lunatone. So, there's that. Tell me what you guys think. One thing I don't really like is it's very physically offensive. So I think good physical walls might give this team a bit of trouble. But we do have pretty good special wall breakers being Keldeo and Mega Ampharos. But that's like really it. Unless you want to consider losing someone. So I might be doing some free agents. Maybe drop like Golurk for a special ghost type. I actually don't really know what I would trade. But there's also the option of running a Victini specially offensive. So I guess my special offense is not too bad. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Week 1 will start. I don't remember, but it's in 2 weeks from. Actually, I think it starts March 27th, somewhere around there. So yeah, look forward to that. Yeah, not much to say. If you guys enjoyed this, don't forget to click the like button down below. Tell me what you guys think about draft. Tell me how you think I'm gonna do this season. But I'm gonna get the heck out of here. Hope you guys have a beautiful day.